Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about season 3 of Glee. This is a pretty good season. I give it a B minus. I don't think it's as good as seasons 1 and 2, but I still really enjoyed it. I know it's been like 4 months since my last Glee video, but for being honest here, guys, these seasons are long. I feel like this is just how TV was like 15 years ago, or like every season was like 22 episodes and they were like 45 minutes long. I remember Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like that, and Gotham was like that. But like that doesn't really happen anymore, except for except for like cop dramas and stuff. Um, so a lot happened in this season. um, Man, a lot happened in this season. So let me just start off with all the characters, my thoughts on their arcs and stuff, and my top 5 favorite episodes. So let's start out with Quinn, who honestly has one of my favorite voices on the show, though it isn't utilized much. I did like when she sang that Jackson 5 song. That was really good. Never Can Say Goodbye, and she gets a couple other songs this season, but her character was so crazy. She starts off by being like the rebellious punk girl, and then she like tries to steal her baby back from Idina Menzel, which is kind of crazy. Um, and then she like becomes a good guy again. So there's basically 3 Quins in this season because I feel like the show never really knows what to do with some of these characters, and Quin's definitely one of them. Um, so yeah, it's just kind of a wild card. I prefer the most recent version of Quinn, where she's a lot more mature. And though then again, even that version of Quinn, like she pretended like she couldn't walk after she could walk again because she got hit by the car, um, just so she could be the prom queen, which is also kind of insane. So you never know what kind of crazy shit she's gonna pull. But honestly, I like her. She's a lunatic. But Diana Agron just gives so much charm to the character, and I love hearing her sing, and I love her reactions to the other people sing. She's always like, I just think that's cute. Moving on to Kurt, I really liked Kurt in this season. Um, I like his relationship with Blaine. I think they're a very healthy relationship, except that one episode where Kurt kind of cheats on Blaine. I mean, not technically, but like emotionally, which seems very out of character for him. Like, if he took that episode out, nothing would have changed. So that just seems like a very bizarre choice to make. I also like how kind he was to Kowalski after Kowalski tried to kill himself because, like, it just shows how kind Coda is to people who, like, harassed him. Like, you do not need to be that nice. Also, when the Flash assaulted his boyfriend with the ice, the rocks on the ice, he's like, I'm not gonna tell the cops. It's like, I think you should tell the cops. That's fucking crazy. I would have told the cops if I was him. Um, so sometimes I feel like Colt isn't as tough as he needs to be, but he is very kind, and I think he's kind of the glue that holds the team together. Um, Even if some of the clothes he wears are insane. Moving on to Blaine, who, like, in season 2, I thought he was Colt's age, but I guess now they're saying that he's a year younger than Colt. But little inconsistencies like that, I'm not really bothered by. He's good in this season. I feel like I love his songs that he sings. He's a great singer. Like he was a little too close with the Flash. They were buddy buddies, and even though the Flash kept hitting on him, even though he's dating Colt, seems kind of odd. But I feel like he just doesn't know how to say no sometimes. Um, he's one of those people who just is a people pleaser. But he doesn't really get many arcs this season besides when he lost an eye and then the eye grew back or whatever. Um, I feel like they're saving him more for season 4 when he's like a senior, then because now that Colt and Quinn and Rachel are all gone, he's gonna get more of the spotlight. Moving on to Jane Lynch, who is way down here on the DVD. I feel like in the first 2 seasons she was kind of front and center, but now she's way down here. She also goes through a bunch of crazy shifts. First, she's running for the House of Representatives against Burt. Um, how I'm surprised Burt won that without the APAC money, but hopefully he hasn't received any APAC money, if you know what I mean. So first he's like trying to destroy the Glee Club through becoming a House of Representatives member, and then she kind of changes her mind after she has that conflict with the swimming coach. So now she's like with the Glee Club, though. Given how given how crazy her character is, I give it like 5 more episodes before she turns back against them. It's nice seeing a normal side of her and her actually getting along with Will and the kids. I kind of like that version of her. It seems more positive. And of course, I love all of her scenes with Becky. I think they have really good chemistry. They're funny when they need to be. They're dramatic when they need to be. Um, I like when she found out that her kid might have special needs, and she's like, well, she worked good with her sister, and she was good with Becky, so it's not the end of the world. I feel like if anybody's equipped to handle special needs child, it would be Sue Sylvester. Ironically, because he's mean to most of the people, but she does really like them, and I think that's a really good character trait with her. It makes her more complex than just the villain of the show. Moving on to Gemma, who is also Emma. Her name's Emma. We're also right here. Um, I like when Will proposed to her. I thought that was kind of cute, but honestly, she could do better than Will. I feel like she doesn't have that much confidence, but I think she's becoming more confident, especially this season, compared to the first 2 seasons. But still, she could do better than him. He's kind of insane. Um, she, I like the brochure thing she does, and how she kind of like says it actually does help people. It's not just a joke. Like people actually take advice from it. So I think she's actually a really good guidance counselor, even if she is a little odd sometimes. Moving on to Audie, he doesn't really get a single plot line in this season. He's just kind of there. Um, I liked him and Quinn's chemistry when she was in a wheelchair. I thought that was kind of cute. And then he started to become jealous that she could walk again and he can't, which is understandable, but he was still supportive. But he doesn't really get much to do this season, and I'm not a big fan of the character, but I really like the actor's singing voice. So I wish they would utilize him more in the future, because he's a really good singer, even if the character's kind of annoying. Speaking of annoying, that brings us to Rachel, who is honestly one of the better written characters of the show, because I feel like it takes balls to have a character that's very flawed and abrasive, but still likable at the same time. She makes mistakes, but she tries to learn from them. Like she's not as self-centered as she was in the first 2 seasons, but she's still ambitious. She's ambitious, but not at the cost of other people, which I really appreciate. I like the direction they're taking the character, and I like her romance with Finn, though I think it is a little crazy that they got engaged even though they're still in high school. I didn't really think that was gonna work out. And like even though I knew that wasn't gonna work out, the finale when they broke up was still really sad. It, so I think both of those actors did a great job in that scene. I also liked her in the art audition when she choked, and it shows like you could prepare for something and still make a mistakes. I think that's a really good lesson. Also, I think it's funny how one of her dads is played by Jeff Goldblum. The question like where was he doing all the other concerts and stuff, but whatever. Finn, kind of he has a good arc this season because he doesn't really know what he wants to do after high school. Uh, he he's still trying to find his purpose in life, and I feel like a lot of people feel that way after high school. They don't really know what next steps to take. Um, so I really like that angle. Him and Rachel, like I said, have really good chemistry. I think that has to do with the fact that both of the actors dated each other during this season. I think. I don't really know much about behind the scenes, but they have such warmth between the two of them, and they have such a strong bond, and I really like that. And it was sad to see him let her go, even though I think he could have went with her to New York reasonably, because I feel like in New York, it's such a big city that you could have literally any occupation. So I don't know why he'd rather stay in Lima, just a small city in the middle of nowhere, than New York. I feel like they could have made it work if they had to. I don't think he'd be holding her back. But maybe they turn it around next season. Though I know season 4 is his last because unfortunately the actor died. Moving on to Brittany. She's funny. She always says stupid shit, and it's always hilarious. And I feel like half the time it's just the actress improvising. Though she also does get some good solos this season. I really like that. Um, she has a good singing voice, though it's often overshadowed by Rachel, Santana, or Mercedes. But Brittany has a good voice too. She's the class president, which is kind of funny because she doesn't know anything about being a class president. She's like acting like she's like the actual president, talking about like ending the war and like global warming and stuff. And it's like I don't think the class president has anything to do with that. But she's funny. I like the whole dinosaur themed prom, and I liked. She's a good dancer, and I think she's really funny, and I think she's sweet too. She knows how to handle Santana, and she's very supportive of her and vice versa. I think they bring out the best in each other because I think Brittany's her most emotionally intelligent when she is with Santana, and Santana's the kindest when she's with Brittany. So they kind of have that nice dynamic. Bringing us to Will Schuster, who's really tiny over here, which is good. He doesn't really have much screen time this season compared to season 1 and 2, but I'm not really complaining because he's kind of a maniac. But I've come to from disliking him to just laughing at him. He has like he gets like way too involved in his students' lives. He's clearly not good enough for Emma, but I do love his chemistry with Sue. I love the rivalry toned friendship. And I think some of the scenes he had in the last two episodes with the team was really sweet because they've been together for 3 years now, and it's like the end of an era. And they finally win nationals. I think it's a really happy moment, and I think it's really owned. Moving on to Mercedes, I like her in the season as well. Though the whole like, is she gonna be with this random football player we just met, or is she gonna be with Sam? It's like clearly she's gonna be with Sam. Like nobody cares about this football player guy. So I feel like they dragged that out a little too long. And I just think it's kind of stupid how the new like this school would allow there to be two Glee clubs in the same school. I think that's kind of stupid. And that plotline kind of drags on a little bit. Though it does give a chance for her and Santana and Brittany to sing more, which is kind of cool. But also, like, I don't know, it's from like it doesn't really seem realistic. I think it's kind of dumb. Moving on to Santana, who actually has a pretty good arc this season. Um, you could, I hate a lot of the things he does, but also I sympathize with her at the same time. Um, because like she's really mean to Finn for no reason. Like the first half of the season, she's nasty to him. She always calls him fat and stuff, and he's not even fat, but she knows that's his biggest insecurity, so she uses that against him just to make him feel bad. That's not cool. But also, Finn wasn't cool to out her in front of the entire school. I think what he said to her was a good point, but also maybe say it in private, not in front of the hallway, in front of a bunch of kids. Maybe he should have just said that like to her privately. But it wouldn't have been a dramatic Glee moment if that wasn't the case. I feel bad for her because her grandma now hates her because she's a lesbian, but at least her parents are cool with it. And she still has Brittany, so honestly, she came out of the season a winner. Moving on to Puck, who I think also has a really good arc this season. I really like his voice as well. It's just kind of sad because the actor was such a creep in real life, but I try to look past that for the course of the show. I like he's very mature this season. I like how invested he wants to be in his daughter's life. I think his real romance with Idina Menzel was so crazy. I didn't like it, though. Honestly, he's had sex with like a bunch of women in their 40s, and it just always rubs me the wrong way. Like half the women on the show are pedophiles. That's kind of weird. Um, but I like his like determination to actually graduate. He's like, I actually want to do something with my life, and I think that's kind of cool to see him actually show initiative. It's like he has to pass this one test and he doesn't pass it, and it's like, okay, well maybe you could have tried better your first 3.8 years at school. But the fact that he does care at least a little bit, I think that shows some real promise, and I kind of like how him and Quinn are back together. Um, but Honestly, maybe both of them could do better. Moving on to Mike Chang, he actually gets screen time this season. So congratulations, Mike. You actually get some stuff to do. He has this whole like argument with his dad about like he wants to be a dancer, but his dad wants him to be like a doctor or something stupid like that. Which yeah, kind of plays into the Asian stereotypes, but at least it gives him a complete arc, and it gets to show like he actually wants to be a dancer, and he's good at it. You know, he also gets to sing this season, and he's also really good at that. I loved his duet with Tina when they sing "L is for the way you look tonight." That was really cool. So I don't know. I really like the screen time they've given him. Also, speaking of screen time, they also give Tina a lot to do. Where is she? Is she even? Oh, she's right here. Um, she gets to have quite a few solos. She sang ABC. That was kind of cool. She sang that other one where like her and Rachel swapped bodies and everybody in the cast swapped bodies, like a real Freaky Friday dream sequence, which I thought was actually pretty funny, and I think the cast did a good job at like pretending to be each other. So that was kind of cool. It shows promise that like next season she's gonna be like the main New Directions girl, and I think that's cool because she actually has a really good voice and she's really pleasing to listen to. And then there's a bunch of other characters that like you don't give a shit about. They added they instead of focusing on people like Mike Chang or Tina or Mercedes or Audi, they just add a bunch of new characters that nobody cares about. There's the Irish guy. There's the Christian guy with the ponytail. There's unique. Um, there's just add a bunch of random ass characters that like I don't care about these people. Why are they here? Like we already have too many characters in this cast. Emma hasn't had a scene in like 6 episodes, so those guys kind of suck too. Um, oh, I do like Coach Beast though. I think she's one of the strongest characters on the show. The actress does a great job, and I loved her walking away from the abusive marriage thing. And I like that that subplot was given to her because she's a very strong, like intimidating woman. But it shows that like just because you're physically strong doesn't mean you don't struggle mentally. So I think that was really good as well, and I liked seeing her overcome that. So yeah, Coach Beast has a really good arc as well. And I hope they utilize her in the other seasons. Okay, now it's time for my top 5 episodes of the season. So I'm just gonna say these in like chronological order, and then say if it's my favorite as I go. So we have episode 10, yes or no. That's the proposal episode. I think it's really cute how they do it in the pool, the synchronized swimming. I don't know. I thought that was a sweet scene. It's nice to see them like Emma happy for once. I also liked the Michael Jackson episode. The whole episode's great. The musical numbers are really good. But the highlight for me definitely is the Santana Sebastian duet of Smooth Criminal featuring the what are they called? The strings. What are they called? They're not like they're not the cellos. Yeah, the cellos with the voices sound so good together. That song slaps. Man, I think that's Naya Rivera's best performance on the show, and one of the best performances the show's ever done. So that was amazing. Um, Episode 14 is really good. On My Way. The regionals performances are so good. And then you have the Dave Kowalski suicide attempt, which is shocking. And then you also have Quinn getting in a car accident, which is also shocking. Now, it's kind of weird that she's like back to school the next episode. I feel like that would have had more of an impact, but honestly, still really good television now. I liked it a lot. Um, then episode 21, which is my favorite episode of this season, was the Nationals episode. Um, I like how all the character arcs kind of come to a nice like climax, and the songs they did were so good. Rachel's Number especially was amazing, and it's nice to see them win. It's nice that like all the teach all the teachers were there. Will, Emma, Sue, and Coach Beast were there cheering them on, and after all this time, 3 years, they actually won nationals. It's nice to see that. I really like that. And then the finale is really good too. Kind of like more of a bittersweet one because they're all going in new directions, if you will. So that's them saying goodbye to each other, and it's really sweet. I don't know who's staying for next season or who's not staying. I assume most of them are staying. We're just gonna follow them as they go through their careers. But it seems like the end of an era, and I think it was really sweet. And it's sad to see Finn and Rachel break up, but we do have this new sense of hope with Rachel in New York. So, you know, yay for season 4, I guess. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed season 3. There were some ups and downs. Some of the character arcs were a little odd. There's a bunch of other characters we don't care about. But I think if a season ends as good as this one did, you're willing to overlook those flaws rather than a season like The New Last of Us, or the new Doctor Who, where the finale is so bad it kind of stains your memory of the rest of the season. But this season stuck the landing, and they had a lot of good moments, a lot of good songs, a lot of good acting scenes as well. So let me know what you guys thought of this season down in the comments below, and I'll talk about season 4 probably in like I don't know, like fucking February or something, because these seasons are so long. It takes me like 4 months to get through them. But until next time, peace.